Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Relinquishment of Responsibility ceremony for First Sergeant Carlos Salas. The reviewing officer for today's ceremony is Chief Warrant Officer 2, Bridget A. Brenmark, the 4th Infantry Division Band Company Commander. The company First Sergeant is First Sergeant Carlos D. Salas. First Sergeant Salas is presenting Miss Salas with a bouquet of red roses. Red is the color of the heart and reflects the loving concern that she has shown for our soldiers and their families. The roses are in full bloom, symbolizing the beauty and fulfillment of her time with the unit. First Sergeant Salas is also presenting gifts and roses to his daughters Ava and Sienna, the apples of his eye, the winds beneath his wing. Now taking their positions in the reviewing area are Chief Warrant Officer 2, Bridget Brenmark, and First Sergeant Carlos Salas.
Present. Arms. Order. Arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of the national anthem.
Present. Arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order. Arms.
Please be seated. The act of passing the guidon is symbolic of the passing of command authority. It is one of the oldest traditions of the profession of arms. The history of the Non-Commissioned Officers Corps as a guardian of the unit color is acknowledged by First Sergeant Salas' presentation of the guidon to CW2 Brenmark. This symbolizes the relinquishment of his duties as a unit first sergeant and custodian of the unit guidon. CW2 Brenmark then presents the guidon to Sergeant First Class Tony Tejas, thereby entrusting him with the duties and responsibilities as the interim first sergeant and the new guardian of the company guidon. Ladies and gentlemen, CW2 Brenmark.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Colonel Mender, Sergeant Major Edwards, Lieutenant Colonel Lukeman, Sergeant Major Reddick, and Lieutenant Colonel Morris, thanks for coming today. Fellow command teams of HHBN and those virtually watching, thank you for attending today's ceremony. I am grateful for the privilege of hosting and getting to thank First Sergeant Salas for his contributions to the 4th Infantry Division Band and wish him well and his family well as they move on to the next Army chapter. As a steward of ceremonial tradition, the band is very familiar with the procedure of ceremonies. They are the first to take the field and they are the last to surrender it. The band knows that as the first speaker, I get to talk the longest, approximately 4 minutes, and they will be counting. I've already spent about a minute getting to this point, so I better keep moving. The Army band field can be a small world in the best of ways. We often serve with familiar faces, and First Sergeant Salas is no exception. We first served together many years ago while stationed at JBLM, where we got to play some rock music together. Then years later, when I was at Wabick, he was the tuba instructor at the Army School of Music. A few years later, When I found out that I would be coming here to Fort Carson, I was relieved to know that with First Sergeant Salas here, I would have a great first sergeant, and he did not disappoint. First Sergeant Salas led the way on the transition to the new Army Combat Fitness Test. He led the certification of over 50 NCOs and officers to become graders on the test, many from the band as well as HHBN. For the very first diagnostic test, First Sergeant Salas led the charge in grading 480 HBN soldiers on the ACFT. With the last month of continued testing, the number is now closer to 600. The band maintained an APFT average of over 250 and a marksmanship average of over 36, the highest in the battalion. These things are a direct reflection on First Sergeant Salas' emphasis on what he calls conditions of employment: PT, marksmanship, and musicianship. During his tenure, the band increased its mission on Fort Carson and in the surrounding communities by 60%. One recent example of First Sergeant Salas leading from the front is in submitting his own tuba performance video for a joint collaboration with the Colorado Springs Philharmonic and the Air Force Academy Band. Before I set out to review all the submissions from the band, he warned me, "Be kind, ma'am, but please be honest." I can say with complete honesty that when I heard his submission, it was amazing as always. And that brings me to story time. I mentioned before that we were at the School of Music at the same time a while back. Part of the training for WABIC included administering and grading the Army Musical Proficiency Assessment. As part of this exercise, we had to listen to various auditions, and mine and my classmates' scores needed to be very close to that of the instructors to pass. First Sergeant Salas got recruited to perform an audition at a specific level intended to be poor. No matter how hard he tried, we graded him closer to an outstanding musician having a bad day than an unskilled one. There was so much drama over it that any attempt to score games were thrown out of future officer training. I therefore feel most qualified to say that First Sergeant Salas can't play horribly even when he tries. And I think if that's his only failing, that's the best kind. First Sergeant is a staunch supporter of military courtesies, from yelling at AIT students at the School of Music to wayward soldiers at the sidewalk here at Fort Carson. He has always been the first to make sure that soldiers saluted me. The point when he said, "Hey, are you going to salute my commander?" meant a lot to me. From such an outstanding NCO, that is a high compliment. First Sergeant Salas and I are loud people. It comes from our similarities of caring about the work that we do in the band and the people who do it. We've had some of the best conversations in which any moments of upset quickly led to spontaneous laughter. And we've always maintained a unified front on the accomplishment of the mission and the welfare of our soldiers. First Sergeant, I've always appreciated your candor and commitment to the highest standards. I thank you for all you have done, and the band and I will miss you. Emily, thank you so much for all you have done as well in leading the family readiness group. Your compassion for the care of our band families has made us stronger. In closing, the words the bands have been anxiously waiting for me to say. As you are headed for some of my old stomping grounds at Fort Sill, I know that you will fit seamlessly into the TRADOC environment, and you will be a great asset to the 77th. There's nothing like the first time you attend a BCT graduation and see the families there enjoying the band and celebrating the accomplishment of our newest soldiers. The blast of artillery will call to you in the night and in the day, but they will eventually win your heart. There is a reason it's called the best duty station you didn't think you wanted. When the band plays, the audience will be there to cheer you on. My best wishes to you and your family as you depart for this next adventure. Steadfast and loyal, battle ready, keep on rocking.
Ladies and gentlemen, First Sergeant Salas.
Colonel Mender, Lieutenant Colonel Lukeman, Lieutenant Colonel Morris, Command Sergeant Major Edwards, Command Sergeant Mayor Reddick, fellow HHBN command teams and soldiers of the 4th Infantry Division Band, thank you for attending today's ceremony. Sergeant Bolkar, excellent performance on the anthem as always. I'm going to miss hearing and watching you front a band. Honestly, thank you. Todd, thanks for being here. Appreciate your support and attendance, and I appreciate your collaboration with the band over the last 3 years. I'll be back in about 3 years to retire, hopefully, so if you can save me a job, it'd be greatly appreciated. The attendance of so many officers and NCOs from throughout the battalion and battalion staff represent the camaraderie and collaborative environment for which I am very grateful to have been a part of for the last 3 years. Lieutenant Colonel Lukeman, sir, thank you for your guidance that you provided during our brief but meaningful time serving together. I do appreciate it. I will carry with me the lessons and tips given during our talks in the last few months. Lieutenant Colonel Morris, thank you for being here today again, sir. And thank you for all the time you took to coach and advise me during your 2 years of command. I am truly grateful for your mentorship, and I wish you, Jen, and the family the best of your future endeavors. Command Sergeant Major Reddick, thank you for your guidance and candor. Although other CSMs may have thought it from time to time, you were the only CSM to ever call me extra. And I do appreciate you always keeping it 100. To my fellow First Sergeants, First Sergeant Blow and Guzman, I see y'all out there. Thank you for having the one team mentality and for being good friends and excellent examples of what right looks like. I want to be just like you guys when I grow up. And I'm going to miss working with both of you. Truth. Chief Benmark, thank you for your kind words. You're right, we have known each other for years, and this could have very easily turned into a roast. So thanks for taking it easy on me. Ma'am, thank you for providing a clear vision for the unit and for assuring that the focus is understood down to the lowest level. You have high standards for this organization, and your ability to get the best out of this unit is remarkable. The band has been on a path of improvement for the last 3 years, and we owe a big portion of credit to your leadership. I'll never forget our many talks, as you described, our many talks in your office, the times you schooled me on how to be a little bit more woke, and I'll forever be thankful for the care and concern you had for our soldiers, their physical and mental health, and for that of their families. It's been an honor to work with you, and I will miss serving with you, ma'am. To the soldiers of the band, you exceeded all expectations on what I envisioned upon my arrival here, and you amaze me on a daily basis. Your technical mastery of the craft is extraordinary, and I have heard some of the best music of my life within this band hall. You exceed the standard every day, all of you. All that we're taught in ADP 6-22 are things that you do on a daily basis, even at the 10 level. Specialist Naven developed our ceremonial unit into a sharper marching element. Specialists Garcia and Maldonado frequently display their mastery of guitar via social media and consistently perform above the level required for skill level 4 NCOs. Specialist Turner uses his expertise as a vocalist to expand the capabilities of the rock band, though it's not even his ASI. Corporal Coppola extended influence beyond the chain by designing a database for the ACFT tracking, which is used throughout the division. Sergeant Shomo gets results by creating arrangements for the band while saving us money. Sergeant Tro presents a professional and military bearing that is second to none. Sergeant Allison's innovation provided training via Google Classroom in order to execute training during COVID and is used throughout the division. And the seniors, Sergeants First Class Kim, Robertson, and Tellez, they lead better than any group of seniors with whom I've served. I've never been any group of senior NCOs more caring, and their behind-the-scenes work to do what needs to be done for their soldiers would amaze anyone who isn't in the know. And all of these soldiers in the band present the highest level of character and always do what's right. I could go on by name by name, but I'm not going to. I'll simply say that serving you has been one of the greatest privileges of my life, and I thank you all for your support and patience. Please join me in a round of applause for this great unit. Serving you has been one of the greatest privileges of my life, but the greatest privilege I've had is to be a father and husband, and I want to thank my family for 3 years of patience, understanding, and adventure. Ava, Sienna, thank you for being such smart, wonderful, and hilarious little adventurers. Thank you for always having my back. Ava. Daddy loves you so much, and I can't thank you enough. To my beautiful wife, Emily, you still make me feel like a teenager, and when you enter the room, I still see it in slow motion. Thank you for all that you do for our family. Your patience and grace and humor makes me look forward to coming home to you each day, and I love you more than words can express. Thank you all again for coming today. Don't be a stranger, and if you ever need anything at all, please hit me up. Steadfast and loyal, battle ready, Rockstar 7 out.
Coming in. Let's stand. Jump.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join in singing the 4th Infantry Division song and remain standing for the Army song. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Thank you for attending.